Imagine waking up tomorrow morning and the sun is just gone. No explosion, no supernova, no warning. The sky is black and the temperature is already dropping. What would happen to you, to the planet, to everything we have ever known over the next 30 days? Let us walk through this together, hour by hour, day by day, and I promise you, by the end, you will never take sunlight for granted again. In the first 8 minutes, nobody notices anything, because that is how long it takes light to travel from the sun to Earth. For 8 glorious, blissfully ignorant minutes, everything seems perfectly normal. People are commuting to work, kids are heading to school, coffee is being poured. Then, darkness. Total, absolute, suffocating darkness. Not nighttime darkness where the moon gives you a little ambient glow. Remember, the moon only shines because it reflects sunlight. No sun means no moonlight. No sun means no nothing. The stars would still be there, twinkling away, but without our star, Earth would be plunged into a darkness deeper and more complete than anything any human being has ever experienced in the history of our species. Within the first hour, the temperature starts to plummet. Not gradually, not gently, fast. The Earth's surface loses heat rapidly through radiation into space. We are essentially a hot rock floating in a freezer, and without the sun constantly reheating us, we cool down quickly. By the end of day 1, surface temperatures in most places would drop below freezing. People in tropical regions who have never experienced frost would see ice forming on their windows for the first time. Within a week, global average temperatures would crash to around -20 degrees Fahrenheit. -40 by the end of week 2. And it just keeps going. Now here is where things get really interesting and really grim. Plants die within days without photosynthesis. Every leaf, every blade of grass, every tree begins to wither and decay. No photosynthesis means no new oxygen being produced. But do not worry about suffocating just yet. There is enough oxygen in the atmosphere to last thousands of years even without plants. Your real problem, your immediate, urgent, civilization-ending problem, is food. The entire global food chain begins with sunlight. Plants convert sunlight into energy. Insects eat plants. Small animals eat insects. Larger animals eat smaller animals. You sit at the top of that chain and the entire foundation just disintegrated. Grocery stores would be stripped bare within 72 hours. Panic buying would make the early days of any pandemic look like a mild inconvenience. Governments would attempt rationing, but with no prospect of future harvests, the math is simple and brutal. There is not enough stored food on Earth to feed 8 billion people for more than a few months. After 2 weeks, the oceans begin to freeze on the surface. A thin crust of ice would spread outward from the poles and coastlines, growing thicker every day. But here is a mind-blowing fact that most people do not know. The deep oceans would remain liquid for an extraordinarily long time, possibly thousands of years, maybe even longer. The enormous pressure at depth and the geothermal heat constantly seeping up from the Earth's interior would keep water liquid miles beneath the frozen surface. And in those dark, warm, pressurized waters, life could actually persist. Entire ecosystems clustered around hydrothermal vents on the ocean floor. Creatures that thrive on chemical energy rather than sunlight would carry on as if nothing had happened. They do not care about the sun. They never did. They have been living in total darkness for billions of years. Meanwhile, on the surface, by day 30, the Earth would be unrecognizable. A frozen, dark, silent wasteland with temperatures approaching -100 degrees Fahrenheit. The atmosphere itself would begin to change in disturbing ways. Water vapor would freeze out of the air and fall as snow. Eventually, over months and years, even the nitrogen and oxygen that make up our breathable atmosphere would liquefy and rain down as liquid air, pooling in low-lying areas like a toxic, ultra-cold ocean. The last human survivors, if any remained, would be huddled around nuclear reactors or geothermal vents, the only remaining heat sources on a dying world. And here is the wildest twist of all. Without the sun's gravity, Earth would not stay in its orbit. It would drift off into interstellar space as a rogue planet, wandering the Milky Way in total darkness for billions of years. A frozen time capsule hurtling through the void, carrying the fossilized remnants of a civilization that once thought it would last forever. And yet, even then, deep below miles of ice, around volcanic vents in the deep ocean, microbial life might endure for eons. Life, as it turns out, is far more stubborn and resilient than any of us give it credit for. The sun is not just a light source, it is the beating heart of everything. If this blew your mind, subscribe for more deep dives into the most extreme